Hello, today we will learn about Keycloak using Spring Boot and Docker. And there is another new thing in this video, that is pre-configured Keycloak. It means user does not need to manually configure Keycloak. Okay, yeah, okay. So first we will learn how Keycloak works, then we will learn how to deploy Keycloak with Docker Compose, and how Spring Boot login works with Keycloak. Okay, so first I explain you how Keycloak works. Suppose this is a user, this is app and Keycloak. User has requested a Spring Boot application, and before request arrive at application, request will be forwarded to Keycloak, and then Keycloak username login page will be shown to the user. Okay. User provide credentials in which user provide username and password. Then Keycloak validate user. If user is valid, then user will be redirected to the application. And if user is not valid, then user will be shown a message invalid credentials or username or password not correct. Something like that. Okay. So here I show you some steps, and then I will start the application and show you the real example. Okay. So first step is user click the login button in application generate authentication request. Authentication request is sent to the user with 302 redirect. User redirect authorization endpoint and key clock display login page to the user enter username password submit the form. Then key clock verify user credentials. If it is valid, then user will get access to the requested resource. Otherwise, user will be shown an error message. Okay, and we can customize our authentication flow. Okay, so here is a simple example of this Docker Compose file. We can also run it directly using Docker, but I preferred using Docker Compose. Okay, so this is the name of image we are using from Keycloak. Okay, here we are doing port forwarding, and this is the setting up environment. Okay, username, password. Here I set some bash file which will automate realm creation and client creation and user creation. Okay, so yeah, and this is uh, yeah, this is about how Spring Boot application login works with Keycloak. So first, we have to add a Spring Boot OAuth2 client in Maven. Then we have to configure application.properties, and here's authentication flow. User try to access a secured endpoint. Spring Boot detect endpoint require authentication and redirect user to Keycloak login page. Then user will enter credentials, and in case user entered correct credential, then Keycloak send authorization code to redirect UI, and then Spring Boot exchange code for tokens, and using client ID or secret app send code to Keycloak return ID token, access token, and refresh token. In our case, we are using only ID token. And Spring Boot create an authentication session, and user is considered as login. Okay, so this is quite theoretical, and I hope that it's difficult to understand what I'm talking, but I'll show you a real world example so you could understand in a better way. Okay, okay, so now I am going to stop all running containers, and then I will restart them. However, I did not make any change to my Docker Compose file, so I'll run it in a detached mode. Now I hope that container is started, and so I started my container. Now I will log in into Keycloak. Okay, just want to make sure that we have application realm is created. Then we have got clients, my client, okay, and then my user. Okay, so whatever I wanted to create, it is automatically created using bash script and docker. Okay, so now I will start my Spring Boot application and try to access Spring Boot protected resource. Okay, so okay, here I'm trying to access Spring Boot application. I'm redirected to this page, but I'm also getting an error. We are sorry, invalid parameter redirect URI. Now I fix this error and retry to access this page. Okay, so here I made a mistake. My Spring Boot application run on localhost 8081, but here I mentioned it 8080. It is a mistake in my bash script. Okay, so now I make it 8081, save it, and now I try again to log in this page. And let's see, now I'm able to see login page. I try to enter incorrect username and password. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm getting an error message, invalid username and password. Now I try to enter correct username and password and let's see what happens. I entered. Oh, sorry. It is incorrect username and password. My in new application I had some different password and see it. Yes, we have a different password. So yeah, yeah, I got access to the resource. Okay, so our example for today is done. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I wish you a very nice day. Okay, I also shared the GitHub link in this in the comment section, and if anyone has any question, then feel free to ask me. Yeah, yeah.